buyers make their decision in seconds, whether they want to see it or not. Well, hello and welcome back to the Cornerstone Realtor Team podcast. Today we are breaking down everything about staging. Some of you might think, well, I don't know if staging is really that important, but you know it is more important than you think. So today we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about our experiences in staging a home versus not staging a home, just to give you a little insight the way the market thinks staging versus non-staging, and what staging brings out in a home. So Jamil, welcome back.
Thank you, welcome back, and good morning. It is a nice morning this morning.
Yes.
And we're gonna talk about staging, like Ram has said, but the question we always get is, does staging actually increase the sales price or the value of the house? But what people don't realize is staging actually, it's not just throwing furniture in your house. It's really not that. It's actually strategic marketing. We are marketing your house, bringing out all the nice colors in your home and the way that the layout is shaped, and attracting buyers to that layout and what they're looking for. And so we're trying to minimize distractions from the buyer. We're trying to make the house look bigger and better than ever. We don't live in a house like we stage it, right? We always tell people that.
That's right.
But we're creating an emotional connection with the buyer. And that's why we stage. So it does bring an attractiveness to your home. And that's why it increases the value of, getting more offers, getting more people out. The more people out that we have, the better.
That's right. And most buyers, they decide in seconds, and it all starts online. So when your home is staged, and like Jamil said, the distractions are minimized, and the points that make the house what it is are highlighted. When they see these ads, buyers decide in seconds if they're going to view the house or not. So staging complements, it brings out the photos. It makes the photos look a lot better. Can you imagine looking at a house online that is vacant, that has no staging? What are you looking at? You can't figure it out. But when you look at a living room with furniture, you begin to imagine. So it enhances the photos, the videos. And when we do social media ads and you're scrolling, a nicely staged home will cause the scroll to stop and people to look. So it's very important. If your home doesn't stand out in a few seconds, when somebody's looking at it, they pass it by. They're not going to continue to look. And it determines how much attention your home gets online. So staging is very important, and it gives a feel to the rooms, to the main room, the primary room. It gives you a feel to the family room, to the kitchen. So it's very important to highlight these things. That's why staging is important, because buyers make their decision in seconds, whether they want to see it or not.
Ramesh, you're so right, because when they see the photo online, right, they're looking at Instagram or Facebook or Zillow, anywhere online, and they see a picture that draws them. It's an emotional connection. It just draws them in. It looks so pretty. The couch, the color, the home, the way that it's laid out, they want that. They ask themselves when they go through the house, obviously, can I see myself living here, right? The staging does that. It does create an emotional connection. And empty, vacant homes, they feel cold. They feel smaller. And they feel less inviting. And I think that's where people they make that decision, an emotional decision, when they are looking at the house and they say, oh, I have to have that because of the way it feels and the way it looks.
I remember, give you guys a little story. We took on a listing in Positano. I remember 2 realtors before us try to sell it, and they could not. And when we walked in, we realized the home has never been staged. In fact, their personal items were still all over the house. How can you walk into a house and see a family's picture? It's not neutral. You're seeing them living in there. So when you stage, you're taking all of that away and making it neutral to where somebody can imagine themselves. So staging helps buyers understand the space. They look at the living room, the dining room. This particular home, we were in the formal dining room and the seller had turned it into an office. So he had put cabinets all over the dining room so he can file his paperwork in. We're like, no, 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 no. We took them off. We created the space so a buyer, when they look at it, they understand the dining room, how it works, the family room, and they look at the bedroom. Is my bed gonna fit in there? King size bed. Is the room big enough? So it helps people understand the space. So confused buyers, they don't make offers. When they look at your house, if it's not inviting, the space is not right, if there's confusion about a certain room, they stay away.
You know, Ramos, that's true. And, you know, with the staging, we're trying to have a perceived value, an improved perceived value of the house. And what really matters is this. If you have two identical homes, one is vacant, the other is staged, which one will get the most? And that is the staging, because we're creating a space, right? It's just not a wood and walls and empty and you're in the house and it's echoing. It doesn't look good. You're not creating a space for someone to imagine themselves. Remember, it's emotional. Buyers are coming in, it's an emotional time. They want to buy something and it's for their family, it's for their kids. They want to see themselves in that family room. They want to see themselves laughing and enjoying the kitchen table and having those conversations. So they're making memories and they think that when they're walking through. And so the perception drives value. If we can create a space that creates a good perception and a beautiful home, the value will go up.
That's right. And you know, staging works hand in hand with marketing. Can you imagine us as listing agents trying to market a home that has not been staged? It's very hard. How do you think the professional photography will come out? The rooms will not make sense. You cannot imagine the room. So we're creating imagination. How about the videos that we do on a house? The walkthrough. What are you walking through to look at? Walls? You gotta imagine the space. When we do AI campaigns, if the house doesn't look great and it's not maximized every room to look at its best, then everything else will begin to fail, because staging is so important. And when we add people into our funnels for retargeting, what are we retargeting? A vacant or empty house that has no character? We haven't shown off the character of every room. So staging is very important. So marketing amplifies what's already there. So we take the house, what it's already there, and we highlight it. We show the best of the home. You can't market a home to its full potential if it's not presented properly. So it's all about presentation.
The question is, does staging always make sense? And the answer is no. So if you have a fixer, a house that needs a lot of work, we don't typically stage those homes because the target buyer is an investor. And so investors don't need to see the house staged. And the seller typically is not gonna stage a home that's a cosmetic fixer or that's gonna be a flip. We don't recommend that because that is not gonna help. What are we gonna show off? Popcorn ceiling with nice couches? It doesn't make sense, okay? So it's a different type of marketing. So for a home that is a fixer, we don't recommend it. That's probably the only time that we don't recommend staging. And so staging isn't a one size fit all, it's strategic.
That's right. And then so the final question is, does staging really make a difference? Yes, it does. And when it's done correctly, it makes a difference. It increases buyers' interest. That's number one. When they see it, they're interested. Improves online engagement. So now we're in a digital world. Everything's online. Everybody's scrolling. So it does that. It creates stronger emotional connection, which is very important. We talk about buyers, they're very emotional. So you want to create that connection. And it potentially leads to higher offers. We have statistics that show a house that is staged versus a house that is vacant. Staged home always gets much more. But most importantly, it helps your home stand out with competition. So if you have two homes on the same street, one is staged, prepped, launched right, and one is not, it just put on the MLS and let's see what happens. That home will not get the offers that it should or the attention because of staging and prepping the house right.
So the real question is, do I need to stage, right? And if you don't know the answer to that, give us a call. And if you want your home to stand out or you want it to blend in, you need to stage. So stage your home if you want it to stand out. And in today's market, your home needs to stand out for it to get top dollar. And if you don't know, if you're unsure about if you want to stage, give us a call. We're right here in the Tri-Valley. If you're thinking about selling and you have questions about staging, we can definitely walk you through and walk through your home and let you know if you need staging. And please follow us, subscribe on our channel, share it. And if you know anyone that wants to buy or sell, or if you're yourself thinking about selling or buying, give us a call.
Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you at the next podcast.